Hello, welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. I want to welcome everyone here today. Let me do the shout outs right here, right quick. Hello, Chris. Thank you for coming. Chris Miller, thank you. And hello, Oladio. Good to see you. Hello, anybody else that's in here right now. Please hit the thumbs up and be sure to share. These are separate cases. I did a research on different areas and some prize question mark teachers who abuse students. I think the system needs to monitor teachers better. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. We need to learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. This one's a perfect example for this one today. Without further ado, we'll start with the story number one. Y'all let me know what you felt about each little story, okay? But first, we're going to go over this is the teacher student abuse laws, okay? I like this site right here. I don't know that much about it, but teacher student abuse laws. When you can look it up, zip code or city, different things right here. What's your find a lawyer, whatever. What is considered abuse of a student? When young students leave their homes each morning to go to school, they will face a wide range of new experiences and situations. In a typical school week, children spend more time at school during the daytime than they do with their parents in the evenings. Because of this, it is important for parents to be aware of what is happening while their children are away for the day. Schools have a legal obligation to make all reasonable efforts to keep their students safe. Schools have a duty to monitor their students' environments to ensure they are safe from dangers. Unfortunately, in some cases, the danger comes in the form of a teacher. That's hence these today. Abuse of a student occurs when a teacher violates the rights of the student or endangers their well being or safety. These types of incidents are treated very seriously. Both federal and state law strictly regulates the standards by which a teacher is required to conduct themselves. Any teacher that violates educational standards may be subject to civil and criminal penalties. Excuse me. Sorry. Although it is not extremely common for teachers to abuse students, it happens more often than not. A lot of times people are too scared to tell. It does happen more often than most individuals realize. However, many students, especially younger children, may not be aware that they were subjected to mistreatment. Because of it is important to both students and their parents to be aware of any situations that may be considered abusive. What are some examples of teacher student abuse? Abuse of students can occur in many forms and may involve circumstances that are not necessarily physically abusive. Common examples of student abuse by a teacher include emotional, physical, or sexual harassment of the child, excessive or unauthorized use of corporal punishment or physical force, discrimination based on protected categories, including race, gender, or disability. And these are some of the cases today, which some of them are autistic. Restrictions on the constitutional rights of the student. Some of those involving freedom of expression and free speech. Failure to address special needs of the student, such as handicap access, unfair academic treatment, such as bias or preferential treatment in grading, denial of educational opportunities. I remember one time there was a girl in my class and she was on the AB honor roll. Well, I was right there helping the teacher grade her papers, and she did pretty bad on the spelling quiz. But then I noticed that she had went and asked another student for that same color pen that she had took the test in when we handed back her papers, and she changed her answers. And she went back to her teacher. See, she marked it wrong. She marked it wrong. No, she just cheated. Change the answer. As noted above, one of the major issues with student abuse by a teacher is that many young students may not recognize that they are being abused. An example of this may include verbal abuse in schools by teachers. It is important for parents to get involved with their child's education and be aware if their child informs them of any of the abusive circumstances noted above. What laws protect students from teacher student abuse? Y'all might want to write some of this down. I don't know, but or come back to this video sometime. The laws against child abuse can be found in civil statutes, criminal codes, and juvenile court codes. This can make it difficult for educators to properly identify their responsibilities and reporting procedures related to abuse of children, including their responsibilities for prevention and intervention. In addition, the constitutionality of many of these laws have yet to be tested. School policies against child abuse serve to protect the students from harm as well as to protect the school from liability. There are laws in place both at the school, state and federal levels that protect students from teacher student abuse. The federal laws that apply to these issues include Title IV and Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972. If a school does not respond appropriately to the harassment of a student based on the protected characteristic, they may be violating one or more of their civil rights. There are also laws at the state level, the specifics of which will vary by state. In Alabama, for example, the Code of Alabama provides laws governing education and education safety. Title 16 of the Code of Alabama governs education, including school safety and discipline accountability. Chapter 28A of Title 16 governs school discipline. Title 290 governs the Alabama State Board of Education, including regulations that govern public schools and education accountability. An individual's lawyer can advise them of the laws that apply in their specific state. In general, a claim that involves sexual harassment or misconduct will involve verbal or physical acts that are sexual in nature. These types of lawsuits typically involve a teacher and a student. However, they may also involve other faculty members or employees of a school. As henceforth, you're going to see one of these cases where it's going to have other staff members in here, okay? Which I'm going to share with y'all in a few minutes. In certain instances, sexual harassment claims may also extend to a child abuse claim. This may occur when a school district has knowledge that a student is being bullied, abused, or sexually harassed by a teacher or other student and does not take steps to prevent or stop it, such as notifying the proper authorities. That's where some of my friends are fighting for their deceased brothers, their relatives, for themselves to bring awareness, and they're getting harassed even by the police in their state. So y'all, please keep a lot of people in your thoughts and prayers because a lot of people are trying to get the word out to try to save other kids. If an individual is a teacher, they have a responsibility to report any type of suspected abuse of the children in their case under the laws in most states. States have laws that outline the requirements for workers who work with children. If it is suspected that a child is suffering from abuse or neglect, the teacher must make an immediate report. You see that? The teacher must. This requirement usually applies to all public school employees, including principals, teachers, counselors, librarians, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, paraprofessionals. Like when the two or three boys, and even if it's just one kid that went forward to tell percent this person in charge, they should listen. They should take note of it. They shouldn't sweep it under the rug like they do. These professionals do not have to investigate or provide proof of any suspected abuse or neglect. It is only required to report the information given about any incident or what the employee observed. Is it illegal to keep students after the bell? While students may not be pleased to know, there are no direct laws against keeping students in the classroom after the bell rings. The policies and regulations of a school may provide specific rules regarding the bell. However, it is important for teachers not to abuse their power to keep students in the classroom after the bell rings. The bell does not actually dismiss the students from class, the teachers do. Okay? A bell is simply a timekeeping tool. The teacher has a duty to keep their students safe because at times they need to keep them in the classroom. Yeah, there's some bad stuff going around outside, or storms, or anything like that, or so we're not going to get along with the read out about how the bells work. Well, that does not provide much clarity. The right to leave the classroom is protected under various abuse laws. These laws provide students a legal right to leave to use the restroom, having time to eat lunch, or time to purchase and eat a school lunch, and to leave or see the nurse or for medical care. A lot of times, the students, like when they were going to a different school for technology purposes, they just had like 10 minutes to eat lunch. It was not enough time for them to sit down and enjoy what they just bought. In most cases, a school will respect the teacher's decision to hold students late after a class. This is because when a student is at school, the teacher is the de facto guardian, which gives the teacher rights almost equal to a parent. What should I do if my child was mistreated at school? If an individual believes that their child was mistreated or abused at school by a teacher or another educational worker, there are several steps they may take to get involved. These steps include immediately contact the school board and school officials, familiarizing themselves with school regulations and policies governing teacher conduct, requesting that the school district investigate the incident, filing for an investigation with a government agency if necessary, and filing a private civil lawsuit. So I'm reading this before I bring the cases on, okay? So please bear with me. If an individual discovers an incident at school, they should contact the school board immediately. A meeting should be scheduled as soon as possible so that the incident will still be fresh on the student's mind. In addition, any delays in informing the authorities regarding an incident may negatively affect a future claim. It is important for the individual to familiarize themselves with school regulations and policies that govern teacher conduct. They should also inquire if the school district has had previous incidents of abuse of students. Yeah, that's really good to know. Check out all the teachers, that your kids go to school with. Also, to make sure that they have no kind of deviant behavior. Next, the individual should request that the school district conduct an investigation. A written formal explanation of findings should be requested. An individual can report a teacher for harassment by filing a complaint with their school district. If the school board cannot or does not provide an adequate solution to the issue, an individual may have to file a complaint with a government agency such as the Department of Education. The department will then conduct an investigation into the alleged abuse and will prescribe corrective measures if they are appropriate. If the investigation by the government agency is still not adequate, the individual may wish to file a private civil lawsuit to recover for any injuries or losses incurred. In some cases, an individual must file a claim with a government agency before they are permitted to file a lawsuit. They may also be criminal charges, depending on the circumstances. It is important to take any complaints for a child very seriously. An individual will not be penalized in any way for filing a report with their school district or government agency. Well, it's got to be a true. You will get in trouble if it's a false report. So if it's a false report, you can. Student safety is one of the top concerns of any state, so it is essential to file an accurate and timely report if an individual suspects abuse. Well, it's okay, if you suspect it also to do that report because it's best to be safe than sorry. Unfortunately, in some cases, bullying occurs by a teacher and is directed at a student. While it may be possible to sue a teacher for abuse of power, it depends on the specific laws of the state and the policies of the school. And it says that yes, it's essential to have the assistance of a government lawyer if your child has been abused by a teacher. Second to the parent child relationship, this is the one most important relationship in your child's life. If you suspect your child's teacher has abused them in any way, you should immediately contact school authorities. If you are unsure of how to begin this process, a lawyer will gladly help. If you believe the situation may be dangerous for your child, it may be necessary to alert law enforcement. Your attorney can review your situation, advise you of the laws in your area, and rights under those laws and assist you with the complaint process. Your attorney can also help you file a civil lawsuit if necessary and present you during any court. So let's get on down to the first case. Are y'all ready? This is about, and this happened in Moscow, Tennessee. And this was February the 4th. This was published February the 4th, 2025. Updated February the 5th. A K through 12 elementary school teacher in Moscow, Tennessee is behind bars after she was reportedly caught on surveillance video kneeing. She kneed a 4-year-old to the ground at school. Brandy Murphy of Oakland, Tennessee is charged with child abuse and simple assault. The Fayette County Sheriff's Office says she turned herself in on Tuesday. According to the arrest affidavit, the assault happened on Thursday at LaGrange Moscow Elementary School. Usually, need means in the groin. And so, if she kicked him in the groin, I think there needs to be sex abuse thing right there too, because that's to a private part, which she had no right to touch. Would y'all agree with that? Instead of just saying the thing about and he was 4 years old, people, just 4 years old. The incident reportedly happened as the 4-year-old boy was walking toward the cafeteria with other students. Surveillance video in one of the hallways reportedly captures Murphy approaching the boy, who she then grabbed and shoved him from her left to her right. The child returned to the teacher's left side, and then that's when Murphy allegedly kneed the boy to the ground, causing him to fall. The sheriff's office says Murphy walked off and left the student crying on the ground, failing to protect or check on the child's welfare. Y'all can say your feelings about this case in the comments. Witnesses claim the boy cried after the teacher saying, "You pushed me." Murphy responded by coming back, but only to pick up the water bottle that the boy dropped and walk away. Seriously? You picked up the water bottle that he dropped. You could at least helped him up. You could at least gave it to him. Do what? Till you even show us water bottle. At the conclusion of this investigation, it was found that teacher Brandy Murphy's actions appeared to be intentional and cruel in nature. The affidavit reads. He's 4 years old. He's not going to understand some of the rules too well. Do y'all agree with that? Well, what if that happened to your 4-year-old or your grandchild? Here it is right here. I am going to mute my mic while I do this. It's going to be the same case.
A county teacher arrested and charged after she was accused of kneeing a pre-K student to the ground. The Fayette County Sheriff's Office showed Action News 5 the surveillance video of the incident, but we are not able to show it to you because they did not get permission to release it. But what we saw showed the 1-minute long surveillance video of Brandy Murphy, a teacher at LaGrange Moscow Elementary, walking behind the 4-year-old student, putting her knee into the student's hip and lunging him to the ground. Nearby witnesses escorting a group of children in the hallway reported to the school resource officer the student was crying and saying, quote, "You pushed me." Murphy responded by walking back to the child, but only to pick up the water bottle as seen on video the little boy dropped. She was then seen walking away.
You know, if something like this were to be reported, who it would go to, how seriously they would take it, and where they would go for it to be investigated. However, being that someone who witnessed it did speak up to the administration, they immediately took it through the proper channels.
Murphy turned herself in Tuesday and has since bonded out. She's now facing assault, child abuse, neglect, and endangerment charges. The Fayette County School District confirms Murphy has been suspended.
Wow on that, y'all. Thank goodness for the person standing up and telling. So this one is where Missouri City, Texas. The parents of a non-verbal middle school student wants answers after they said their son did not get the urgent medical attention he needed following an injury at school. Tuesday afternoon, 11-year-old Kyle Vinswardo was recovered at home. His father told ABC 13 he was relieved to see him feeling a little better just 3 weeks after an agonizing incident on November the 5th. It was like an animal struggling on the road and people just surrounding it waiting for him to die. That's how I describe it, explained Herman. Brothers said they got a call from Quail Valley Middle School in Fort Bend ISD that Kyle, who is nonverbal, her husband was asking Can y'all hear me now? Testing, testing. The internet went out briefly. I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me okay? Okay. Okay, good. All right. So let me change the settings on this right quick, and then I got to share this, share that again. Let me share the page.
She got Credit Karma she liked. Ooh, is that saffron? And when it came time to buy a home of his own, Credit Karma helped him take things to the next level. Just in time. Intuit Credit Karma. Download the Money app where your hard work pays off.
Only on 13 tonight, the parents of a nonverbal middle school student want answers after this happens.
Now, he ain't cried this whole time.
It's tough to watch, but they say he was left on the floor for hours screaming in pain, as you heard, after an injury at school. ABC 13's Jessica Willey is live with the parents' concerns and the school district's response tonight. Jessica.
Yeah, the details are disturbing. An 11-year-old boy with severe autism shatters his femur after falling at school, and the parents say even the school nurse didn't do anything about it for more than 2 hours.
Oh, give me my kiss. How about my kiss? I love you. I love you more.
A father's love for his son.
Thank you. Love you.
Today, Herman Benserto relieved to see 11-year-old Kyle feeling better. Just 3 weeks removed from this. Your poor son was suffering.
Yes, for 2 hours. It was like an animal struggling on the road and people just surrounding it, waiting for him to die. That's how I describe it. I'm sorry, but it looks like that way.
It was November 5th, the Bensertos got the call from Quail Valley Middle School that Kyle, who is nonverbal with severe autism, wouldn't get up off the floor. His mother drove to the school, found him still there, and called her husband.
I heard in the background, the nurse was asking, do we need to call an ambulance? And I was like, what? They don't know? And my son has already been lying there for 2 hours. So I told him, yes.
Kyle was finally taken to the hospital and admitted. He underwent surgery to insert a metal plate and 8 pins in his left thigh after an x-ray showed he had shattered his femur.
You can hear this he was screaming. He was screaming there. So how come they don't know what? do.
Kyle's mother took this video, but since then,
I was able to sit and watch the entire 2 hours and 15 minutes of the video.
attorney Joe Matthew has been able to watch the classroom video of the incident.
I don't know what happened in this case. It's ridiculous what happened.
He says he saw Kyle slip and fall. The rest is shocking.
What do? They just leave him on the ground. They leave him on the ground for 2 hours while they're sitting around, they're talking, they're laughing, they're eating lunch, they're ordering. And chicken.
In a statement to ABC 13, Fort Bend ISD said, quote, staff members involved in this incident are no longer employed by the district. We remain committed to creating a safe and secure learning environment for every student. For now, Kyle is confined to a wheelchair to get around. His parents and Matthew seeking answers.
What are the policies and procedures? We don't want this to happen to any other kid.
Kyle, the most vulnerable kind, his father says it will be hard to trust again.
The neglect, incompetence of those people, they need to know what's going on with a kid.
Jessica Willey, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
Again, so I had to change it over. Testing 1 2 testing. Just put a 1 if you can hear me. 1 2 testing. Well, thank you. So now look at this sorry piece of crap for teacher, January the 2nd, 2025. Former Round Rock ISD teacher faces charges of tripping student with autism in the classroom. A former Round Rock ISD teacher resigned after admitting to intentionally tripping a 5-year-old student with autism at a Head Start program, according to an arrest affidavit. Lynn Shin, who was hired in August 2024, resigned on October 1st after being placed on administrative leave following the September 26th incident at WBCO, Head Start, and Round Rock. According to the affidavit, a classroom volunteer witnessed Shin trip the student after he had been running back and forth in the classroom while stimming. The volunteer, a former special education teacher with 32 years of experience, reported that Shin warned she would trip the child if he ran past her again. Then she stuck her foot out when she did so. When he did so, the child, who is nonverbal, fell to his hands and knees. He also has a blood disorder that makes him more susceptible to bruising, according to the affidavit. Thank you so much, Chris and O'Leary. This is a bunch of crap what these teachers are doing to the kids. And here's another story I told y'all about already. I've got this on my channel. You taught Head Start, eventually became a Head Start program. Thank you so much for your work. I'm so sorry for that kid, you know. So Tennessee teacher Lisa McComan, who raped a student at 12 inside her home and got pregnant, sentenced to 25 years in prison. But she kept having that boy over, and she kept getting out of prison, and her husband stood beside her and everything. And sickening story. And she would say innocent, and she would write all these boys like from on Instagram or something, and send them nude pictures of herself. Okay, let's see if it says everything that I'm saying, so I don't have to go and say it. It's right here, right? So, a former teacher, Tennessee teacher who raped a 12-year-old boy inside her home and became pregnant, was sentenced to 25 years in prison for heinous sex crimes on Friday. As one of her victims' families told the once trusted educator to burn in hell. Elisa McCommon, a fourth grade teacher in Tipton County, Tennessee, pled guilty to a slew of sex charges related to 5 of her possible 21 potential victims. McCommon, previously accused of assaulting a former student of hers in 2021, pled guilty to one count rape of a child, statutory rape, sexual exploitation of minors, and solicitation of minors. So she will go to Snapchat and send them pictures. McCommon was sentenced to 25 years in prison after Circuit Court Judge Blake Neal ordered all sentences to run concurrently with each other without the possibility of parole. Yeah, but 25 years is not enough because she was put in jail for a little while, got out on parole, you let her out of jail. And what do you do when you get out of jail? You contact the person and you threaten him that he better not tell. McCommon would have to register as a violent sex offender after her sentence and was ordered to not have contact with any of her victims. Her teaching license was also revoked. The ex Charter Academy educator formed relationships with the preteens she met while in her class before playing video games, followed them on social media, and befriended their mothers to exploit her position of authority. McCommon was fond of one student, a 12-year-old boy, whom she called over 200 times and sent explicit photos over Snapchat. Yes, she needs locked up forever. In one message, McCommon threatened the boy that she would kill herself if he broke off the relationship. Can you believe that? I'm going to kill myself if you break it off. You know what a 12-year-old kid, they're so 12-year-olds we care so much about. And so, you don't have the aptitude to put like, okay, if you kill yourself, that's your choice, right? But when you're in that, like, I don't want to be guilty of somebody going to kill themselves, right? Here she is right here. An investigation opened into McCommon in 2021, and the mother reported inappropriate texts from the teacher to her son in 2023. McCommon was suspended from the school without pay on August 24, 2023. She was arrested on September 8, 2023, on a 23-count indictment with multiple sex offenses against several students. Yet look at her, how much time she got. She didn't get no time, but she had over 23 counts and multiple people that she done this sent explicit photos and stuff to. She bonded out, was back behind bars less than a month later after she violated her release conditions by communicating with one of her victims. At the same time, McCommon claimed to one of the boys that she was pregnant with his child. Yes, she became pregnant with his child, but you're the ones that called him over there. You're the ones that did the boo boy. In a call to the minor played in court, McCommon, a mother of two beforehand, said she was ready to bring their alleged child into the world. DNA evidence confirmed the former teacher's claim that the child was the father, according to WREG, just 12-year-old child. A judge later ruled that McCommon would have no contact with the infant child. So when she gets out of jail, she can have no contact. And I hope that when the guy who would not want any contact when she gets out of jail either. You know what I'm saying? Protect the kid. Victim's mother, who has custody of the child, said the newborn would not be influenced by its felony mother and that McCommon has to face her punishments. The innocent child will be loved and raised without your influence. There's no amount of time they can give you that will equal what God will give you, you will burn in hell, they said. Davidson applauded McCommon's guilty plea and subsequent prison sentence. These convictions and sentence demonstrate the continuing commitment of law enforcement and the district attorney's office to aggressively investigate and prosecute child rape and child sexual abuse cases in this district, especially when there are minor child victims. We are glad that we are able to achieve certainty and closure for the victims and their families and the Tipton County community in the case. I don't think it's closed because she can live a lot longer. She'll be out of jail at her older age, and she's going to continue doing this, right? But I seen another part where it said she could still have contact with the girls when she gets out of jail. But what if her daughters, they're going to be older, okay? But she got contact with her daughters, and what if they have sons? Because it looks like she's messing with boys, right? You got that right. We do need stricter abuse laws. And for her to be in that community close to them and keep getting them back over there. Now look at this girl right here. This lady. She was California Teacher of the Year. And she sobs. She starts crying as she admits to abusing 2 students, ages 11 and 12. Can you believe that? Okay, hold on a minute. Let me get this back over here. Let's see if we get it. I want to let me mute it because I want to see her arrest. She got Teacher of the Year too, y'all.
You're not gonna tell me what to do. This is Mexican land, mother.
No, okay.
Look at that flag because that flag isn't on the floor, is it?
Take her down.
Take me, mother.
I was thinking it showed the video, but it didn't. So let me go back to us. I was thinking it showed the video, but it didn't. An award-winning California teacher broke down in tears in court as she confessed to sexually abusing 2 of her students, ages 11 and 12. Jacqueline Ma, who's named Teacher of the Year in San Diego County, just months before her arrest, was facing a staggering 180 years behind bars for the shocking abuse at Lincoln Acres Elementary School in National City. Now, this is staggering 180 years. Why can't you give that teacher Elisa McCommons? Because she ended up bringing the kid to her home and letting him into her home and kept doing this heinous action. I mean, why isn't there sentences like that with that McCommon one? That McCommon monster, sorry. So Jacqueline Ma, who's named Teacher of the Year. Did I say it right there? San Diego County just months before her arrest. See there? Facing a staggering 180 years behind bars for the shocking abuse at Lincoln Acres Elementary School in National City. That was knocked down Wednesday when she admitted lewd acts with her students as part of a plea deal that could still see her sentenced to 30 years to life. Guilty Ma told a judge through sobs. Ma also pled guilty to a count of possession of material containing a minor engaged in or simulating sexual conduct for sending the boys X-rated images and begging them to send her photos of them engaged in sex acts. This was very significant to us, not just because she won an award, but because who she was in the community. We think this plea deal sends a message to the community, not just about sex offenses on children, but when you leverage a position of trust, when you leverage good, faithful parents in the community, and you do this to their children, there will be significant penalties to pay. I'm sorry, but when you plea deals, I don't think you should plea deal with these people. Did our kids get a chance? Did our kids get a chance to be themselves and not be abused? I mean, why are you giving these sorry pieces of crap plea deals? Why, when you got a lot of evidence and you got the pictures and you got the videos and you got all this, that, and other, you got the proof behind it, how come you offer these pieces of crap plea deals? I want to know. Maho's top 5th and 6th graders was arrested on her school's campus in the spring of 2023 after the mother of the 12-year-old boy contacted police. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Who found that the trusted teacher had groomed the boy over 10 months, sharing love letters and explicit texts. She sent him racy photographs of herself and asked him to take and send her videos of himself engaging in sex chat and grew frustrated when he didn't respond. And I can imagine she said, well, I'll give you a better grade or I'll put that F down to, give you a good grade, whatever. But thank you, ma'am, for speaking out and protecting these other people from her. Ma was awarded Teacher of the Year months before her arrest. The victims were Ma students at Lincoln Acres Elementary School in National City. In one message, the child reminded his teacher, sometimes I think you don't understand that I am a kid still. Wow. He actually wrote that to the teacher. Sometimes I think you don't understand that I'm a kid still. Smart kid. So she was really badgering him. In one instance, she took off her shirt after asking the 12-year-old victim for a private meeting in her classroom. Whoa. Whoa. For now, if you got a teacher that wants a private meeting with a student, make sure that your parent is around or another adult when you got people like this, right? Prosecutor said Ma also had another relationship with a current student at the time, an 11-year-old boy, and exchanged sexually charged messages with him. Teacher of the Year, right? Prize? No. Do y'all think this is a prize? I don't think she's a prize teacher. I would say no on that one too, wouldn't you? A picture of one of the victims was discovered in her wallet after her arrest. Whoa. At the conclusion of the preliminary hearing in 2023, Superior Court Judge Marianne Diaz-Dizio said she thought the evidence was overwhelmingly clear that the defendant took advantage of two children. Then why did you give her a plea deal? You had enough evidence. See what I'm saying, people? Not a prize teacher at all. That's right. From our office office's perspective, it's very important that these be charged as not just sex offenses, but sex offenses done under duress. And anybody that don't know what duress means is under pressure, under threat. And that's what she pled to. Hart said Wednesday. Mama sentenced on May the 9th. So here comes another one. This will be the last one for the day. Former elementary school teacher sentenced to life in prison for sexually abusing children. And this is May the 2nd, 2023. A former school teacher was sentenced today to life in prison for sexually abusing elementary school students on a U.S. military installation in Germany. That's right, Oladio. They were groomed so much, that they feel like they have to do it. Unfortunately, we were taught that adults were the boss, no matter what adult tells you, even if it's not your parent. You had to mind an adult, and children were to be seen and not heard, right? According to court documents and evidence presented at trial, Stefan Zappi sexually abused 4 of his former elementary school students between 2006 and 2010. There could even be more, but there's 4 that they got, right? At the time, Zappi was a teacher for 1st through 3rd grade students at an elementary school in Germany. The school is part of the Department of Defense's education activity, which serves dependents of the U.S. military service members stationed overseas. Whew. Yes, 4 spoke up. Our servicemen, thank you so much. And our servicemen and servicewomen that's over there, please, thank you for serving our military. And you're over there doing that to protect us. And look what they're doing to your children while they are entrusted in going to school over there. They should give a lot of utmost respect. And I hope he got a dishonorable discharge, too. The successful prosecution of Stefan Zappi demonstrates the Justice Department's commitment to prosecuting U.S. citizens who prey on young and vulnerable children, regardless of where and when the crimes occurred, said Assistant Attorney General Kenneth A. Platt, Jr. of the Justice Department's Criminal Division. How about going over there doing, I disagree with partly that, because go over there and do Aaron Solomon, who violated Gracie Solomon, his daughter, and the son was trying to protect him, and y'all didn't protect him. And by the evidence standing, he was not dragged by the vehicle back behind. The black box in the vehicle says that it just went forward. So somebody had ended up driving the vehicle forward, and it killed Grant Solomon. He hit his head. We don't know if that's when he hit his head from the vehicle going forward, or whether somebody used his missing baseball bat on him or what. But, when the police took the evidence and stuff, they forgot his glasses, they forgot his cell phone, they forgot a couple other things too. When you're doing an investigation like that, that's imperative to remember the glasses, because he wore the glasses, right? And the cell phone and stuff. How crazy is that? So don't say that you're committed to doing all cases. So when you want to go and do all the cases, then go make sure you get these big wigs that's in our governments, and please stop all this, please. Zappi's offenses are especially egregious because he was entrusted with teaching the children of our brave service members overseas. The courage of the victims and the perseverance of investigators and prosecutors ensured that Zappi's offenses were exposed and will prevent him from abusing even more children. Okay, he's exposed, but are you going to give him a dishonorable discharge? My dad was in the military in Germany, okay? He sexually abused girls. And all he got was put in the brig, okay? He just kept getting put in the brig. And you know what? He got an honorable discharge when he was released. Zappy abused a position of trust as an elementary school teacher and sexually abused multiple students, said U.S. Attorney Brian K. Buchanan for the Northern District of Georgia. His crimes were horrific, and the community is safer now. He no longer has access to children. Okay, so what did you do to him? Okay, we want to know. Okay, in a few minutes, I guess we're going to tell, right? In 2020, one of Zappy's former students notified Army criminal investigators that Zappy touched her under her clothing when she was a student at the school in 2009 and 2010. Further investigation revealed that Zappy sexually abused four of his former students by placing his hand inside their underwear and directly touching them on multiple occasions. The victims were between 6 and 8 years old at the time of the sexual abuse. Other students and faculty members reported that Zappy frequently hugged students, had them sit on his lap, and touched their backs and stomachs under their clothes. Sicko. On January the 18th, a jury convicted Zappy of 4 counts of aggravated sexual abuse of a child and 4 counts of abusive sexual contact. There has to be other kids too. They can't be just the 4, just 4 that stood up, right? There's got to be others. Cases like these, y'all please stand up if you were over there at that time and you're a victim of Zappy. Please come forward and stand up. Now's your time. So right here in front of you, right here, the case it's already a shoe-in. Cases like these demonstrate the FBI's dedication to protecting children from those who seek to exploit their innocence, said Assistant Director Luis Quesada of the FBI's Criminal Investigative Division. The FBI and our partners remain committed to pursuing justice for our most innocent victims and those who are unable to defend themselves. Victimizing and preying on Department of Defense dependents is unacceptable, said Special Agent in Charge Ryan Hall of the Department of Army Criminal Investigation Divisions, Army CID, Europe Field Office. Army CID will continue to work closely with our law enforcement partners to investigate these crimes and bring the perpetrators to justice. I'm so proud of y'all for doing your job right here, because so many times when you say this happened years ago, well, you ain't got the proof. We ain't going to do this without you having the proof. Thank you for taking it up and doing that. I appreciate y'all. Y'all deserve a hand. Thank y'all for getting this monster. The FBI and Believe in the Girls. The FBI and Army CID investigated the case. Trial attorney Eduardo Palomo of the Criminal Division's Child Exploitation and Obscenity Section and Assistant U.S. Attorney Lee Ann M. Merrick for the Northern District of Georgia prosecuted the case. This case was brought as part of Project Safe Childhood, a nationwide initiative to combat the epidemic of child sexual exploitation and abuse, launched in May 2006 by the Department of Justice, led by the U.S. Attorney's Offices and the Child Exploitation and Obscenity Section. Project Safe Childhood marshals federal, state, and local resources to better locate, apprehend, and prosecute individuals who exploit children via the internet, as well as to identify and rescue victims. For more information about Project Safe Childhood, please visit www.justice.gov PSC. Let me copy this link and stop there because it stopped sharing there. Let me put it right here. There you go. Put it right there. There's the link to check out. It's in the comment section here. So you be sure to check it out. Yes, he needs it locked up for life. I think none of these are prized teachers. There's a lot more out there, y'all. There's a lot more teachers out there. that's been exploiting our children. There was that Tad. I don't know what happened with that Tad Cummins in Tennessee. I had that, but I guess it shook off when when the internet went off. It kind of shook off itself too. But there was another teacher here in Tennessee, and he had took a student, and he was married, and he had kids at home, and he kidnapped the girl, but he was found in uh, California. Y'all can look it up, Tad Cummins. I can find it right quick because when it hiccuped, it kind of like hiccuped it out. Okay, let me see if I find it right quick. Yeah, he pled guilty to transporting a minor. He researched teen marriage before kidnapping the 15-year-old girl. Can you believe that? Let's see. I was trying to see where I had it earlier. Okay, this is the one I had right here. So let me go ahead and share this. If it will load up right. Make sure that this pause it. Hold on. I want to get that ad out of the way and then I start sharing, okay? Come on now. I see love. I think it's going to keep doing that commercial. Anyway, let me get back, share the screen. Sorry about that. This is where Tennessee teen confronts a teacher who kidnapped, abused her. What you did to me is unspeakable. The former Tennessee teacher who kidnapped his 15-year-old student in 2017 and fled with her across the country for 38 days was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison Wednesday, multiple outlets report. And he was married, y'all, and he had kids of his own. I'm so tired of commercials as well. Tad Cummins was 50 and married in March 2017 when he kidnapped Elizabeth Thomas, a student in his health sciences class at Caligula Unit School. People even said that he would kiss her in the classroom. Last April, Cummins pled guilty to federal counts of transporting a minor across state lines for the purpose of engaging in criminal sexual conduct and obstruction of justice. Before Cummins' sentencing in the Nashville courtroom, a prosecutor read a statement from Elizabeth describing the emotional turmoil she endures daily as a result of what she described as his unspeakable crimes, CNN reports. The effects have been devastating and permanent, and they are not over, reads a victim impact statement from Elizabeth, now 17. She's older than that now. Mr. Cummins, what you did to me is unspeakable. I don't know that any other words could ever accurately express how much pain I have suffered and continue to suffer because of you. Elizabeth's abduction generated national headlines when the girl was reported missing. Prior to that, Cummins was suspended from his job after a student spotted him kissing Elizabeth on school grounds. The pair was eventually discovered in Northern California, holed up in a four-wall shack, and Cummins was arrested. Upon his release from prison, Cummins will be required to register as a sex offender. Prior to her disappearance, authorities and the Elizabeth family said Cummins played the role of mentor and spent months grooming the girl, pressuring her into spending time with him. When I started school, you picked me out of the crowd, Elizabeth wrote in her statement, according to the Tennessean. I was just a kid who wanted to make friends, but you were someone who had a plan. You saw a broken girl who was lonely, scared, and traumatized. You made her feel safe and loved because you saw what she needed and made her believe you would be her protector. I was at a point in my life where I needed to be protected the most. And when it came down to it, that was all a part of your plan. All you were was a man who wanted sex, and you manipulated me and used me just for that. According to a court petition filed by Elizabeth's father, Cummins picked her up from her home on more than one occasion to go out for a meal, threatening her that if she did not go with him, she would face repercussions. Repercussions is cool. Only 20 years, yep. Yep. Teacher told her the devil made me do it. In her statement, Elizabeth said Cummins told her the devil made him pursue an inappropriate relationship with her. If that's true, then you are the devil. Whoa! Whoa! What? You go, girl. You go, girl. The statement continues. Your choices were yours and yours alone. A 17-year-old girl should not have to tell a 52-year-old man this, but choices have the consequences. Your choices destroyed not just my family, but also yours. You act like you care now and that you're full of all this regret. But where was any of that before? Elizabeth asked in her statement. Where was any of that when you first had me alone in your classroom and told me you wanted to see me naked? Where was any of that when you directed me into your classroom closet and violated me over and over again for months? Where was any of that when you spent untold amounts of time and effort into manipulating, pressuring, and deceiving me into thinking that you were the only person who cared about me? Where was any of that when I told you I was depressed and wanted to see a therapist, but you talked me out of it? Where was any of that when you convinced me to get in the car with you on March 13, 2017? Where was any of that when you sexually assaulted me night after night? Where was any of that when you made me sleep without my clothes on? Where was any of that when you made the decision to keep me away from my home and my family, not once, not twice, but for 38 days straight? The statement, CBS News reports, expresses doubt about the sincerity of Cummins' apologies and questions if he even regrets anything he has done. I will have to live with the scars you left on me forever, she wrote. You preyed upon a vulnerable girl and robbed her childhood. For the last 2 years, I've been picking myself up piece by piece and proving to myself that I am much, much stronger than you convinced me I was. You tell it, girl. I applaud her. I applaud her, y'all. Y'all need to give this girl love. Elizabeth Thomas, she deserves love. Path to Healing. NBC News also cites Elizabeth's statement, which discusses how she's found the path to healing. I choose, y'all pay attention to her path of healing. This is how she did, okay? I choose to surround myself with people who pick me up, who cherish me, and who truly love me. Elizabeth wrote in her statement, because of that, I'm able to stand here today, face you, and tell you that you don't have the power over me that you used to have. You can't hurt me anymore. And basically, she's taking the words right out of my mouth. She's saying the words that I like to. You go, girl. I'm so proud of you. Elizabeth asked the court to sentence Cummins to 38 years, according to reports, a year for every day of her induction. He chose to be a sexual predator, her statement continues. He chose to prey on me, knowing the problems I had in my home life. And he convinced me that I was weak. He chose to belittle me, degrade me, and even abuse me. There's no doubt in my mind that if Mr. Cummins had never been caught, he would have eventually discarded me like a piece of crap and made another impressionable young woman his next chosen victim. Tad Cummins is a sick, disgusting criminal. Elizabeth's family's civil lawsuit against Cummins is still pending in court, which probably done already went through because it's a couple years old. The Tennessean reports Cummins appeared emotional in court Wednesday and spoke before the citizen. He said he made every wrong choice I could possibly make and added, I'm here to say that I fully own every piece of this. It's all on me. Well, excuse me. Of course it's all on you. You know, made the decision. You just hate the fact that you got caught. That's your problem. You hate the fact that you got caught. Cummins also apologized to Elizabeth and her family. If there's ever anything that I can do to give you closure, I stand ready. But I know there's not, he said. I just want you to know I'm sorry. Yeah, we know you're a sorry piece of crap. Sorry. Sorry. You know, you just hate the fact you got caught. He even looks like the actor. Wow. There's another one I had seen, you know, a movie where he had a girl, then there was some cow, some ranchers or something like that, but that guy ended up dying, you know, being off. Elizabeth asked court, okay, like we done got over that, okay. What stories. Look how many of our teachers, there's a lot more out there. There was one I read the other day, and he was in Oklahoma City, I believe, and he had even got an award from Dolly Parton for his studies and his things that he did for the school, you know, the scientific, these programs. And it's like he used that to distract the kids, and he was sexually exploiting them. And I think all he got, really, y'all, is 2 years. Seriously. He used that to exploit a lot of kids, and all he got in prison was 2 years. Yellow prison. I had to go back and look at that case. That is unbelievable. And he got teacher something like that. He got an award as well. He's not a prize. I think they need to go back in and arrest him big time and make him serve longer. But some of these places, he just gets a slap on the wrist. You did see a movie based on news. He even looks like the actor in a movie. Yeah. So y'all remember to pray for the victims and be hyper vigilant. You send your kids to school every day. They might come in. They might be a little disgruntled. They might be afraid to even tell you if somebody did that to them. Okay, but whatever you do, don't say, "Would somebody touch you wrongly today?" No, that's the wrong thing to do. Okay, you just sit down, you talk to them, find out how their day went. You have an open relationship where they can always come to you and discuss the day with you. So when they do have something like that crop up, they'll come to you and they'll tell you. So make sure to be respectful to your kids, and instead of brush them off like, I gotta get busy, I gotta do this, show your child that they're important too. So that you got the time for them if they need you, if they need to come to you and tell you what's going on at school, that these horrible things are happening to them. Or they saw another kid that's happening to. There was some other friends that got victimized by predators at school. They didn't care because, you know what? I'm talking about the school people did not care, not the students. But they were even victimizing and pulling the guy's pants down and doing these things to them in front of the other students at these church schools. I mean, I kid you not. This is pretty bad, y'all. This is pretty sick. They keep getting away with it because they got the law enforcement on their side. Um, they got the judges on their side. They got so much on their side. This is horrific. I thank you all. You know, I will be hyper vigilant on protecting our kids. I want to say thank you. And what do y'all think I need to do next on the predators? Expose whom on here? Do y'all have a certain thing that y'all would like me to look up? Certain line of people? If you do, just hit me up in the comments. I want to say thank y'all so much. And at Facebook too, if you're there. And God bless y'all.